spinning wheel.
All right. No, we're not spinning a wheel tonight. Welcome to paraglidingtalk.com. I'm your host, Robert Michaels. Glad you are here. We are going to have an amazing episode tonight. We have Stephen Nowak with us. He's actually right now at the beach in an undisclosed area. You're not going to want to miss this episode. We are fired up. Also, Nick Vasakis is in moderation. Anthony Peregringo's in moderation. And everybody with a tool next to their name in the chat, they are also moderating. So we're going to have a really good time tonight. You're not going to want to miss a second of this. We're going to do some giveaway stuff. Really excited. I do want to mention just a couple sponsors before we get firing this thing off. One of those sponsors is PPG Zone. It's a web hosting for paragliding pilots, paramotor pilots. Find some great resources. Very soon, they're going to be putting together a calendar, and your picture could be in that calendar. So go check out their website, post your pictures, and nominate the pictures that you think should win. And who knows, it might be your picture that gets put in the calendar for 2022 and 2023. Pretty amazing stuff. ppgzone.com. You can reach out to Josh Perry and tell him that paraglidingtalk.com sent you. Also, the show is brought to you by, PPG Smoke. Now, if you have been paying attention to the last few shows, Ryan Roberts is giving away at this point, he's giving away one paramotor for sure. Okay. So he's giving away the paramotor. It's just the motor. Don't get too excited. It's only like $3,000 for the engine, but he's giving that away. And that was because some people bought the pre-order for these headsets, and they're not cheap. They're really cool. If they, I think he's at like 135. If they sell 150 on the pre-orders, then he's going to give away the second motor, which is a little bigger one. That's the 225. And those motors are pretty amazing. And I saw them. They're in the storage for PPG Smokes. Pretty awesome. So Ken Stamey donated $10 to the Super Chat. He's firing it off right out of the gate. Thank you, Kent. Appreciate that. I want to mention also paramotorprops.com. This show is brought to you by Paramotor Props. If you blow it on launch and you blow up a prop, you want to get one fast, you want to order one quick and get one for a really good deal on the internet, paramotorprops.com. Go check them out. And also the show is brought to you by paraorangeproducts.com. So I appreciate their sponsorship. They were the first sponsor of the show. Go check out their website. The website is paraorangeproducts.com. Stephen Nowak, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you making time. I know that the sun is out and there's lots of fun to be had, and you're sacrificing that so you could come hang out with us tonight. And most of the East Coast is in the dark, so they're all excited that you're here. And by the way, tons of people have requested that you be on the show, and so every time it's like you bring a great crowd, and everybody is excited to have you on. So thank you again for joining us. And I know Yana's in the background too, right? She's back there somewhere?
Yeah, she's cooking up a little something.
Nice. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that you're here. I want to start off the show by telling a little bit about who you are. He is a paramotor pilot, a free flight pilot, does Acro, has some a little experience under small canopy, base, has also flown remote control helicopters, right?
Yeah.
Have you done the gliders yet? The fixed wing,
like sailplane?
Sailplane, yeah.
No, I haven't done a sailplane yet. That's definitely on the to-do list.
Yeah. Same with me. And there's something I'm forgetting. You've done hang gliding.
Yeah, I've hang glide.
Okay.
Flown a heli. I don't know.
What else?
Not one to say no to a good time if I can help it.
Yeah. What am I forgetting? There's got to be something. Anyways, he's flown all kinds of things, and he's also considered my instructor. He signed me off. He's given me much instruction, not just I went to his school. I got to hang out with him for a full day and go through some classes, and I took some tests with him. And probably the most influential individual for my flying, Stephen has been incredibly wealth of knowledge. Yeah. Mark George donated $10 to the super chat. Glad to be here. Thank you, Linda, for the invite. Thank you for joining us, Mark. Wow. Appreciate that. So Stephen, let's talk about, and I don't want to get too, Debbie Downer, but we've had a bunch of incidences in the past few months, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring them all out, but I'm going to just give you the stage. I want to talk specifically about the speed flying community and how can we help, and what do you have? What can we bring? I just thought before we had the show, and I mentioned it in passing, what can we say? What can we do? Because a lot of people getting hurt, a lot of people ending life. And I want to start off the show by getting that out of the way.
Yeah, I've lost some friends. I don't spend a ton of time speed flying, but I don't like losing my friends. Uh, Flying is so magical, it's so amazing. We all just can't believe it's even real. We're so lucky to live in a time to do it. And we kind of take it for granted. I hate to start with the crazy analogies right away, but why is a 16-year-old male's driving insurance so expensive? I think fully carried out, it's because nothing mom or dad can say. Oh, you'd love to say, hey, my little Johnny's different. He's mature for his age. And they kind of give you the middle finger and say, that'll be $300. So I wish I could download that safety file. I wish I could explain. I sound all pessimistic and, like you said, Debbie Downer. I've been to funerals and I don't like going to them, and I'm probably going to go to another one before this is all over. I say the last person to go down in the sport, last person to die hasn't died yet. So don't let it be you. I wish there was some way we can do it. I think that we should be allowed to make that decision for ourselves. I don't think that we should try to regulate it out of the sport. I think that's kind of impossible. I was saying, yeah, paragliding can be super dangerous if we only do it an hour from sunset. But
Yeah.
come on, like we want for more than that. So there is going to be a little bit of risk reward ratio. I'm all about mitigating that. I think picking your conditions. There's kind of in the skydiving, like I saw a fatality report saying, like a freak of nature, their canopy collapsed 100 feet off the ground. I'm like, it was Eloy, Arizona. It's 2 o'clock in the middle of summer. It's kind of par for the course with the dust devils I've talked about before, but also with the crosswinds, like speed flying, you're trying to jam in those little canyons, and the wind matters. Like it maybe not be there for you. We know the wing needs the air molecules to flow over the wing. We know Bernoulli's principle and Newtonian physics and all that kind of stuff, but it might not be you yanking the brakes. It could be a local meteorological condition, micro meteorological condition. It could be the air coming over the lip of the hill that you're trying to bomb down into. Maybe you bombed into that hill yesterday, but today the winds are a little different.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You got to pick your spot, and I wish I could download that file, but we've all done it in driving, right? Like, hey, don't talk to your friend in the back seat. Hey, don't drink and drive. Hey, don't go faster than the speed limit. Don't get off your cell phone. Yana was like, man, I'm going to be so mad if you die talking on your phone in a car because you talk about all this stuff and yet I still see you do it. Like, I'm not immune to this. We all take some chances. It's just, you don't know what you don't know. Even if I try to tell you, wear your seatbelt or wear your helmet, it's going to happen. I hate it. I wish it wasn't so. Sorry to ramble, but I get a little passionate.
That's a perfect example. You're just, when you get into the sport yourself, I mean, I'm guilty, and I have to apologize because I came at you like, hey man, I know what I'm doing. I've got 30 flights. I already been doing it, man. Check out my video, bro. Sign me off or else I'm still going to fly.
Yeah.
That was bad attitude. And that was poor. I just, whatever.
And then you want to tell somebody, hey, don't do that. But really, you didn't listen to the people that were saying that before you even showed up.
Yeah. Like 6 months before I even flew, I was talking to people and it was like, they're like, look, bro, don't do it. I know. I already know everything. The teenage syndrome. Yeah. And it's it's a drug. You're, there's no chemicals, but there's stuff going on inside.
Oh, there's chemicals. That's your brain. Like, Who doesn't want their superpower? No, we're gonna put
Yeah.
that back in the box. No more
Yeah.
superpower for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, joy, extreme joy, euphoric joy. Put that
Yeah,
away.
flying. I
Yeah.
just, and it's pretty easy to do. And most of the time, nothing happens. I almost feel kind of bad. I see people out there kiting in the middle of the day, and I'm like, hey, man, you can get picked up and slammed right now. Like, if we were to write that accident report, it'd be kind of obvious. Like, hey, we saw that coming. We've warned everybody before. And then they continue to do what I think is kind of risky. And what happens? They got 2.5 hours of good practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I look like a jerk.
Yeah.
But just recently, one of my good friends that's really good ground handling was out there 2:22 in the afternoon in early March, got picked up 30 feet and slammed. Not speed flying, but it's the same kind of thing, right? Like
Dust
taking those
L.
chances. And it's not even summer yet. Every January, I go, man, how long before we have our first major incidents? I kind of wrote my little safety thing, little brain dump that I wrote last year. Man, it's the beginning of the year. Don't let it be you. And then right away, we're already having incidents. We never get to December and go, wow, nobody got hurt this year.
Yeah.
So,
Yay.
I mean, I wish it wasn't so. I wish my
Yeah.
job is to try to minimize and mitigate. I'm not saying no risk. I take plenty of risk, but the risk reward ratio, right? You don't have to split lanes of traffic at night on a motorcycle in the hailstorm after all the Super Bowl drunk drivers are out there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's a spot in the middle where you can still have a lot of fun and
Yeah.
not take the most amount of risk. I don't think I'm having any less fun than anybody.
Right. What's your uh what's your thought about this, especially the future of our sport? Because realistically, we're not regulated. It's very nice. It feels very
Yeah.
good to be able to have the freedoms that we do. And just like when the drones came out, a lot of people were really enjoying the drones, and now they have been completely, I'll just use the term neutered. You can't do anything with a drone now.
Yeah.
Uh, so what what is your take? And let's talk maybe just for a second on what can we do as a seasoned, you're a seasoned veteran, and you've seen the beginnings. What can we do?
Man, I think you can see the writing on the wall. I wish it wasn't so. We got to self-regulate. I don't know if you listen. This sounds really crazy. I'm not an expert in this, but Henry David Thoreau said that government is best, which governs least. Fully carried out, that government is best, which governs not at all. And the caveat is like, when man is ready for that, that's what he shall have. I know it sounds all crazy. I'm not trying to get too political, but it
I like
seems
it.
like we're not really ready to self-regulate. We ask and like people to govern us. I'm guilty of this, right? I took my paramotor to Slovakia. There's these old castles. I'm flying over these ancient villages. There's little 4-year-olds looking up, and I think it's kind of cool. Maybe they're like, hey, I can do that, right? They live kind of like back in the past a little bit.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah,
ancient village. And I said, hey, I don't really know the rules here. I don't want to break any rules. Just tell me, like, what can what do I need to know? Oh no, you can do anything. There's no rules. Like, there's a couple planes up there. Watch out, but you're okay. So I flew like a jerk. I was like slaloming between the light poles. I'm like almost on someone's windshield as they're doing the speed limit of 12 and a half miles an hour, whatever it is.
yeah.
Like I'm waving through the windshield. I'm over the castle. I landed. He's like, man, if there weren't rules before, there might be now.
Yeah.
So I'm a jerk, man. Like I'm guilty. It's too much. Like we almost
Yeah.
need to be regulated, but it doesn't need to be that way. Really, I'm not flying to create accidents, right? I'm not trying to kick wildlife or anything
Yeah.
too soon.
Yeah.
But you got to self-regulate. You need a little
Yeah.
bit of control so
Yeah.
that you're not asked to be regulated. If you want to keep, driving like a jerk or acting like a jerk, it's not, it's not illegal to drink, but it's illegal to drink and be aggressive with people and drive. And and threaten other people. Like, you should just be free to do whatever you want as long as you don't infringe upon the rights of others. That's my take. I don't
Yeah.
know that we're ready for it. I wish we were, but there's been a lot of episodes to point to. I don't know. Humans are crazy, man. I'm losing my
Yeah.
faith.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, man. I'm scared. We all talk about that the whole governing thing, and we say that there's certain people that we have in the flying community that are great examples, and we try to prop those up. Last year, we did a thing. We gave it was called the Freedom of Flight Leadership Award, and we it was an expensive little thing, but it's like this little glass deal, and their name was engraved on it, and then it lights up from the inside. Really,
Recognition.
yeah. And we posted that, and I said, in a couple episodes from now, we're going to recognize it. And I thought, that's kind of a cheesy way to do it, but we got to do something. Like, somewhere we've got to, and here's the problem. I think we're a bunch of, we're the jokers. Every single pilot is witty. They're all really smart, and they're the kid that would typically sit in the back and crack jokes and make the class laugh. And so when you put somebody in charge that's actually intelligent, that actually can manage, the US PPA or the whatever PP, and you just want to mock them, and it's like, you can't. You just got to chill. They're trying to do something. So I ask you tonight, what are you doing? What is it that you're contributing? And I'm not asking you, Stephen. I know you're doing this, but tonight you're in the chat. You're part of the community. Maybe you're a paramotor pilot. Maybe you're a free flight guy. What are you doing for the community? So Skylar just donated $5 to the super chat. He said, "This dude is awesome." I know. I already know, Skylar.
We get a lot of people with a lot of ideas at our landing zone at the park that I frequent the most. And everybody's like, hey, we should do this. More people should do that. I'm like, it's all volunteers, right? Oh, well, if you need something, you can tell me. I'm like, well, let me pick up this garbage. Like, nobody asked me to, but I'll pick it up and I'll pick that up. And, how many volunteer hours have you done? Have you swept the concrete? Have you wiped down the tables? Or just more people should do that? You got to be the change you want to see in the world. And I think it's not that hard. It's awesome. It's a rad group of people, eclectic, crazy. We have engineers and doctors and just dirt bags, which I think is an endearing term, really. It's transcending the trappings of life and have your adventure. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, same.
If we can keep it a little safer, safe-ish. I'm not trying to be 100% safe. We can't save everybody, but we can try. And if you don't want it to be you get the best risk-reward ratio.
Yeah. John Wayne donated $10 to the super chat. Thanks, John Wayne. Let's talk a little bit about your training. And I said before we were going to talk a little bit about this, and this is incredibly controversial, and it needs to be talked about. And I can't think of a better person to just pull the covers on this. There are people that maybe shouldn't be teaching, and there are people who are coming to the sport that don't have a clue and are making phone calls just because these people have a presence on social media or something like that. Let's maybe open this can and talk a little bit about what does it take to be a teacher. And you can start with free flight and just take us down the road from where you came from to where you are.
Yeah, I mean, my opinions, it's not, I'm not short on them, I suppose, but it's a skill like any other. You're going to get better the more you do it. I see a lot of people trying to get their ratings with the least amount of hours. Hey, I got my 90 flights. I got these hours. I got those flying days. I see people trying to get their ratings even earlier. I get it. You want to go to the sites. It feels good. You have something to work towards. Achievements on video games. Maybe we're trained for it all the way.
Yeah, little brainwash action.
But it is what it is. Like, people want to get that P4. They want to be a tandem pilot. Maybe before they've had all their moments. They don't know what they don't know. It's really easy to fly, man. Left brake, right brake. I think
Lean.
maybe some of the theory that's applicable to the real world, angle of attacks and incidents. It's kind of like base jumping. I don't know. I watched a video where this guy threw a bag of dog food off the bridge. He says base jumping so easy, a bag of dog food can do it. And then it was like a bag of attaboy dog food. He goes, attaboy, and throws it over and it
Oh no.
flies down to the bridge, right? I think it's miles. I'm not sure. But a long time ago. But it's when everything goes right, it's really easy.
Yeah.
It's when it goes wrong, and then you don't know what you don't know. I don't know if you've seen some of these like tandem videos and other parts of the world where they have aluminum carabiners that give way mid-wing over and
Yes.
stuff. And
Ooh.
these people are trusting them with their lives.
Yep.
And then the other part is like reducing your operating parameters. Maybe I launch in some crazy stuff or do stuff close to the ground, but I gotta not do that with other people, even though they think, yeah, I want to do it, but they don't really, like, you just don't know what you don't know until you have that first car crash and you go, oh, I'm vulnerable. I remember when I
Yeah.
first played like a paintball war game and I got shot. I thought I was Rambo. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get shot. I'm better
Yeah.
than that. Then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm out. Wow.
Oh,
I'm really glad that's not real. Like,
that's
I
yeah.
don't know. You just learn all these lessons and yeah, I see a lot of people teaching. I see people getting their ratings a little early and then getting into tandems or getting into teaching. And I don't know, it's almost too easy. It's all the successes until people get hurt. I'm not necessarily about the mechanics. I want to see good form. I want to see good habit. I try to be disciplined. I try to teach respect for the conditions and try to get the biggest, bang for the buck. And I see this not really happening. I see some kind of scary stuff. I see getting away with it. I get people okay with taking 5 tries. Everybody takes, not everybody's perfect. I'm not asking you to be perfect, but I do set a pretty high bar. I was flying for 5 years before I started teaching. It wasn't in a single season. I think it should take, it's easy to sell lessons like 5 days to your rating, 10 days and you're a pilot. Yeah, that's a bare minimum. That's cool, but that's nowhere near encompassing like seeing a few seasons, right? How many like uh-oh moments have you had since you thought you were king of the hill? That intermediate syndrome, right? Just like you
Right.
were as a teenage driver, I'm sure I was.
Yep.
But I don't know, one time I was reaching for a CD player, I rolled into a ditch and was like, oh, I'm sure I was warned about that, but I don't know. I guess it dates me, but that's like a Discman
They were
with
like,
my
what's a disc?
yeah.
My
But
son
yeah,
came to me
it's
the other day and he was like,
me
what's
too.
a dad, what's a DVD? No, not DVD. What is it? What's a VHS, dad?
Man, I have so many skateboard videos. I have no way to watch them,
I know, I
but I
know.
have really cool ones. Some of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Look, we need instructors. We need people out there sharing the magic. Without that, we don't have the new people. You remember a few years back, that guy traded like a motorcycle for a motor at the Salton
Yes.
Q fly-in, and you watch it for 3 days, and you're like, left, right, how hard can it be? And it's
Yeah.
truthfully not that hard.
Yeah.
But oh, power line, oh, road, let me pull the brakes. Brakes make it stop, right? It's the brakes. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
throwing a T, no timeout in the middle of the waves kind of
Yeah.
thing. And then also, my whole last analogy is like, not last, but my latest. It's easy to go to the ocean and see 50-foot waves and go, whoa, that's too big for me. Sometimes it looks really innocent to show up to a site and go, yeah, that's 4 mile an hour wind. That I've kited in stronger than that. It doesn't seem like it's
Right.
out of anybody's league. But if you can't see the clues around you, what's setting up, you can get yourself into kind of a world of hurt, especially with propellers spinning. And I don't know. I just see a lot of kind of getting away with it. And then I see that translating from the instruction, or I see like subpar skills and, hey, they're a pilot. Let's go fly. I don't know. I hope you get away with it long enough. The luck and experience basket thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't run out of luck and now you have a ton of experience. That's kind of what you did. Luckily you didn't blow a leg on the first go and then, oh no, the RC helicopter, same thing. You crash it. The only
Yeah.
part is you still don't know anything.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
throw another $100 into it, but it's not like, well, now I have a basic set of skills. No, you don't.
No,
You had
yeah.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
So
Now you're just scared.
yeah, now it has a vibration. Some bearings
Yeah.
aren't right, and it's always it's really hard. So A little bit of instruction can go a long way. The same thing with like learning to surf with too small of a surfboard. It could take you 2 or 3 summers when you could have swallowed your pride, got the big longboard, been
Yep.
surfing on the very first day, and you'd soon downsize and be doing what you want to do. My other analogy with surfing is a lot of these longboarders, like they don't want to be big wave surfers, and they're not having any less fun than anybody else. So if you
Right.
can find some risk reward ratio that works for you, if you can realize you never find a dust devil at midnight, fully translated out, you don't find them early in the morning and late in the afternoon, right?
Yep.
It's when the sun is high in the sky, when it's hot, like all this kind of stuff. But I see it all the time, man. I'm trying to raise the bar. I'm trying to put some pen to paper and write some stuff down so people can
Nice.
read all my spiel as many times as they want or watch it. I don't know.
I
That's my
like
plan.
that.
I've been doing. I got a few pages down so far. I've got to keep going with it.
Nice. Okay. What is this something you're posting on social media, or is it secret?
Not
Or
really. I'm really horrible with all that stuff. I barely figured out how to log on here, but
yeah, I'm glad you did.
yeah, but I have a couple other cool projects happening as well. But yeah, I want to try to just uh, kind of democratize all the information, not be held some secret that you have to sign up somewhere to get. I know there's a ton of information out there, and
Yeah.
it takes a village to raise an idiot. So you can listen to everybody, right?
Yeah.
I don't like it. Oh, don't listen to anybody kind of thing. Listen to everybody, and then
yeah. This is the
maybe you can
show.
suss it out yourself. Yeah,
That's what made this possible.
I love it.
We are the village.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's really good.
Paramotor, North Carolina, I think it is. Paramotor NC. He said, great perspective. Donated $10 to the super chat. Thank you, kind sir. I appreciate that. So there was another question that came up, and I thought this was actually a really good one. Yankee Paramotor, he's one of the moderators. He said, can Steven differentiate between acro versus advanced maneuvers all recreational flyers should be proficient at, even if they are high angle or roll? And to give a little
That's
background,
a good question.
he's a pilot.
That's a good question. I get hey, you should enter a competition. I'm like, man, I can't even enter an acro competition. Like, what do you mean? I see you do all the loop-de-doos and the spinneroonies,
Yeah.
and I do. But you can't be like, for my first trick, I'm going to do a big ear to the left. Right? Like, for my second trick, I'm going to do a steep right turn. But what should you be proficient in? I think it's in the spiral exits. Right. You should pull a little bit of extra G and learn how to manage that exit. I see you might not be asking for it. You go, I'll never do spirals. But if you get a big old tippy collapse, hit some turbulence or whatever, and find yourself in a spiral, we don't want to be panicking and yanking. You want to have a nice management of that exit. I think this is really, really big. I was watching a Theo video just recently, and he came up with something in my 15 years I never heard about, thought about. I love it, man. I'm super amendable in my position. If you got something new, lay it on me. He was talking about doing asymmetric collapse on one side and spiral to the opposite side. You hear that one?
No. We
See?
did so
See?
okay. Now we did some weird stuff just recently. I did an SIV with Max Marion, and I think he did have me do something weird like that. We called it a collapse sat.
Okay.
I don't know if I thought it was pretty whack, but it was cool. And so we joke around
we'll
now.
Go into like an auto rotation. A big collapse can turn to a spiral, and a super steep spiral turns into a sat.
Yeah.
He's talking about either doing big ear on one side and spiraling the opposite, or even coming like big ear plus one, right? Instead of the one dedicated riser that a lot of gliders have, you can come in one more A from there, or even do full asymmetric and turn the opposite way. He's talking about really high sync rates without lots of G's. So if you need to get down, you're going up, the end of the day, got a potty. I'm not trying to come up with all of your excuses, but you're scared. I don't know. But you want to descend. I thought that was really cool. I've actually played with it with a tandem. I played with it with my solo wing. And something that I'd never really come up with. It just doesn't have a big exit on it. Doesn't have a big pitch.
I can't. So say it again. You're big ears on this side.
Yeah, big ear plus one, or even asymmetric for a higher sync rate. And then opposite spiral.
Opposite spiral. Okay.
Yeah,
so because it wants to go this way, but you want to make it go that way.
Yeah.
And just brakes on that side.
Now we
Huh.
know that if you lost half of your wing, what happened to your wing loading?
Right.
No, it's a question.
Oh yeah,
What happened to your wing loading?
now your wing loading is woo, through the
It's a
roof.
higher, right? And what
Yeah.
happened to our stall speed?
And your stall speed's going to be you're going to be going a lot faster.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to fly fast or it won't fly at all. If you put a
Yeah.
bunch of rocks on your paper airplane, it doesn't float even slower.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it'll fly. It just needs to go fast enough, right? A
Yeah,
wingsuit
yeah.
is heavily loaded. It doesn't fly till it gets quite fast. So yeah, you got to be careful of over
Interesting.
controlling. But what's nice is that a lot of people, if they develop a really steep spiral, they have a really ugly exiting pitch
Yes.
moment, which in and of itself isn't all that dangerous. The problem is if somebody did like a really gnarly spiral to the left and they think opposite. Now it's not doing anything. It's not doing anything. Whoa, I might be falling into my wing. That can get a little ugly. You can get tangled and get
Yeah.
cravats. Another one that happened recently is our site is a guy launched with a wing over and like a tension knot on one side and it's pulling him hard. And he's trying to weight shift to maintain a heading. He's doing everything he can. Meanwhile, he's hitting little thermals and turbulence and getting pitched around. And it's like he could have just collapsed that side so there's not such a bucket pulling you so hard, right?
Right.
But he wasn't thinking about all the tools available to him. So again, it's easy when everything goes right. Left is left and right is right. Lottie does is really cool. Look at that. But let's what are all of the tools available to you, whether you decide to or not? That's why I like that question. Like, hey, I don't want to be an acro pilot. What's acro? Well, these days acro is a really high level. You need to connect a loop-de-doo with a
Yeah.
spinneroonie and then
And you got to
back
be
around.
backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, wild, twisted, and
Yeah.
shaving your head. You got to eat a
Yeah.
banana. You
Yeah.
got to do all these crazy things at the same
Yeah.
time,
On a couch.
right? And clean just to get through the like preliminary round, just to get
Right.
into the competition. So
Yeah.
I like doing helis. I've been having fun with set to helis and spinneroonies and stuff like this. Really, really, really fun. But
Yeah.
I'm not even acro, I guess, if you want to think about it that way. I'm not competition acro, that's for sure. But I do more than most of the locals, so it feels good. I don't know.
Yeah. And you've got you know, the acro uh box in your backyard. So just go
Yeah,
outside and
we have
set it.
easy altitude. That's really,
Yeah.
really nice. And most of the year. I
Yeah.
just now got some other guys that coming over. Comes This guy in particular comes over. I don't get all the refills you're talking about. Came on like the one day that was really sledders, right? We
Oh no.
seldom have these days. Almost every day it's all you can eat.
Yeah.
You want 2 hours, you want 3 hours, we got it, no problem. But the one day where it just wasn't to be had, it wasn't in the cards. And then he came again, and it was kind of a subpar day. And then just
No.
recently, we did a bunch of runs, and I think he's starting to get it. So it's nice to have
Okay.
some people to watch and play and bounce ideas off of and get inspired. That's always
Is
fun.
is he having to drive far to come? Is that why?
I don't think it's too far. I don't know.
No.
We're all driving. Just what's it worth to you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
hilarious.
Worth a drive.
Will Fly donate $5 to the super chat. Thank you, kind sir. He
Yeah.
gave the mic drop emoji. Yeah, there's a lot of people are chiming in. My mom said spinny. She likes the spinny. That's one of her favorite maneuvers.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I love flying. I love flying. I do talk about the dark side of it a lot. I'd rather talk people out of it than talk them into it. If you don't really, really, really want it, it doesn't need to be that crazy, right? You don't need to drink and drive to drive. We
Yeah.
don't get in our car and hope I make it to the store today. You might. It might not even be your fault. It could be some other drunk driver, an airplane falling out of the sky. Unfortunately, this life is short and it's harsh. And the longer you're in the sport, the more of your friends you kind of lose. And we can put a dent in it, right? As a culture, we can think about what we're doing. We can be checking our reserves. Some of the mitigating forces I try to do, I learned from the RC world. You want to try to fly 2 mistakes high, right? If you're spending a lot of time 1 mistake high, you don't have a whole lot of time. And I love flying, kicking bushes, but I do it at sunset when I'm
Yeah.
not worried about the wild card factor.
Yeah.
When you're flying really close to the ground, 1 mistake high, riding the bumper of the guy in front of you, you can't get too mad when you get brake checked. Right? I say I'm no Nostradamus, but I can often see the future. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to play with the edge, but it's up to you. You got to realize. I think I've even heard people say, "Hey, how bad can it be? You already have a parachute over your head." It's like, well, it can be pretty bad,
Pretty
man.
bad. Pretty
Yeah, and
bad.
you don't realize that. So you do all
Yeah.
this math, you do this equation. I got a reserve, I got a paraglider, but then maybe you unwittingly kind of open up, like kind of lower your guard when you're boxing Mike Tyson kind of thing. You don't realize that you're opening yourself to get punched in the face. You're arguably going to get knocked out either way, but let's keep our guard up.
Yeah.
So it's how do people do this? I see them staying connected to the ground, connected to a glider close to the ground for prolonged periods of time. I see people hanging out, building a wall 3 or 4 or 5 times in strong conditions, waiting for a cycle. I personally feel like a sitting duck attached to this paraglider, right? I feel like it's a loaded gun that can go off. I kind of feel like a gun pointed at you. Like, do you ever get comfortable with a gun pointed at you? It should kind of put off a little spidey tingly. Like, man, even if I know it's not loaded, I'm still kind of like,
Yeah.
hey. But I see a lot of people do this all the time, trying to get 12 satellites on their GPS or trying to order them pizza or figure out what kind of beer to get tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like another thing I see is people connected to their glider and they're staring at their wing, like in a reverse position. What's my suggestion? Turn around and look into the future. Let's look at the grasses dancing. Let's look at the flags that are pointing at you from where the wind is coming, not where it's already been and traveling away, right? Just awareness. I don't know how to even really explain that, but that's my goal when I'm out there talking to people. It's like, hey, put that phone away. Like
Yeah.
you're attached to a paraglider in the middle of the day. I'm really scared for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Man,
I want that spidey sense to kind of tingle on people.
that analogy about the wave, when you see a 50-foot wave in surfers and you're like, dude, there's no way I'm going out there. As a new pilot, you don't see the air and you
Exactly.
don't know that you're getting into that. And that, man,
Exactly.
that's such a good analogy. By the way, a bunch of people donated in the super chat. Crazy Uncle Bob donated $5. He said, greetings, fellow deplorable infidel flying squirrels. Still driving tonight. He's delivering something probably to your house. Thank you, Crazy Uncle Bob. DP donated $5. Alms for the poor. My head is swimming and it is awesome. Great stuff. Mark H donated $15. He said, I'm coming. I'm coining Stephen the PPG and PP Yogi. Bill H donated $5. He said, good stuff. I also want to mention a couple of the sponsors of the show for just a second. And we actually have a legitimate sponsor that is not some kind of a flying sponsor. And that is American Allied Drains and Plumbing. They're a local here in Southern California. They're a local San Diego plumbing company. And if you mention Paragliding Talk and you need their services, they will give you 10% off of your bill, and that is huge in certain cases. And I've heard some stories. So, if you want to get a hold of them and you're in Southern California, 844-777-9055. That is American Allied Drains and Plumbing. Reach out to them. They will take care of you. Also, this show is brought to you by Midwest Parajet, midwestparajet.com. If you want to check out their website, they've got a series of great schools all across the country. Reach out to them. Those guys are awesome, by the way. I love having them. We're going to have them on the show again very soon. We had such a great time when they were around. And so reach out to them, midwestparajet.com. Also, the show is brought to you by Nebraska PPG. Josh Bowden runs a school in Nebraska. And if you're interested in getting some top-notch training, you can reach out to those guys over there. Reach out to him through the link in the description. A bunch more people donated to the super chat. Mark Rogers donated $5. This is good stuff. Stephen Nowak, explanation point. James Sutherland donated $10 to the super chat. My mom donated $10 to the super chat. Thank you guys. Really appreciate your contributions. Keep this show going. You might be a supporter on Patreon or PayPal. If you are, thank you. Really appreciate you, and keep it going, and you'll keep this show going. And I really appreciate what's been happening with the flying community. You guys are all really fascinated and really passionate about doing what we do. And so thank you. And I really appreciate that. Let's segue just a little bit more. And I want to just get your perspective on this. Becoming a paramotor teacher. So you've given some lessons with paramotoring. You teach paramotoring. You have the credentials. Talk a little bit about what you see in that and where the dangers are kind of lurking.
Man, it's pretty kind of unregulated. There's not a whole lot of, I know there's some organizations that, issue ratings and do this and that, but it's not so in demand because you can go anywhere. It's not like you're a landowner saying, hey, show me your rating, or you could just go to the desert or go here or there. So a lot of people are just kind of renegade, fly by wire, kind of doing their thing, get you going. I kind of see it like that guy at the Salton Sea a few years ago. I mean,
Right.
tragic event, but anybody can do it, right? Or those who can't do, teach. I'm not really pushing super beginners and 3-day courses or 5-day courses or anything. I really hope that my people can master the kiting. I appreciate that people sell the props and sponsor the show and everything, but it shouldn't be a 7 prop course or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or line
cheap.
sets or anything. I have my stock prop. One of these days I'm going to need you guys, but I don't really know. I don't know. I really try to push that one thing at a time. Like, you don't have to learn to ride a bicycle before a motorcycle. I'm sure there's people that do it, but would you recommend that for loved ones? At least go kite your butt off. Like, I'm a big fan. Forward to reverse, reverse to forward. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, not 1 out of 3, 1 out of 5. I see some carnage out there. I don't know. Like I said, we need the instructors. We need people to spread the passion. That's really what it's all about. And there's some standards and there's some basics. If you don't have a fire extinguisher in a grassy, dry field, maybe homie's not thinking it through. I mean, that's not even flying related, but it's just basic
that's good
courtesy to not be an incident, right? Like, how professional are you? Let's be serious. Do you want to just kind of get away with it? And, oh, now I know. Look at that. I'm making all these mistakes. Even the pros guys are losing fingers, man. I just like, that's really scary. It's a very serious affair. This guy came to me one time. Hey, Steven, I won't be able to make the course this weekend. I hurt my shoulder. I thought he slept on it wrong. He came back months later with a giant scar up and down his back. And his prop stride crashed, something, whiskey throttle kept spinning. No, there's a lot going on. You guys know, like, not that you have to go, I don't know, dig super deep into this kind of stuff. I guess I'm that kind of guy. I like to read and research and learn, and just foundational steps, baby steps. I see a lot of people teaching when they're barely figuring it out themselves, especially in the motoring, because it's pretty easy. You fly in normal conditions. Then I see some weird stuff being promoted. So I don't really know. I'm not out there a lot. I push people to learn. People don't want to hear it, right? Hey, get a season under your belt since you do live here. Hey, come out and be super, super pro. I almost want you to be a P4 before you get your P2 kind of thing. Not quite, but I don't want the bare minimum, Hey, I could miss 16 questions on this test and I only missed 17. Like, okay, but we can do better. I want you to understand all this stuff inside and out and show me good skills.
I mentioned this in a past show, and I just want to say this real quick.
Yeah.
Although I got all the questions right on the test, Steven still made me go back through every single question. And he did it with the whole group, and we went through every single question. And if he sensed any hesitation or question in whether or not that you actually got it, you may have got the answer right, but he wanted to know if you knew why.
Yeah,
it was like that, and that was serious. And at that moment, I realized that's legit. That this is not just him getting some money out of people's pockets.
I like to do the right answer and the wrong answer and the why. I don't want you to guess. I don't want it to be all of the above. Okay, what's this? I don't know, but it's all of the above. I mean, I'm a good test taker. I can tell. Okay, but let's understand, right? There's a thick layer of haze. What are we talking about here? Like, can you see the same mental picture that I see out of this? Does this make sense? I just want you to, it's not hard. Yeah, there's math and science, but there's some basic concepts that we can find throughout the rest of our daily life, right? The rock in the river, the boat rudder, this kind of stuff. Your hand out the window of a car, frisbee. I ask people, hey, what kind of aviation experience do you have? Oh, nothing. I'm like, yeah, you ever thrown a frisbee? Yeah. You ever fly a kite? Yeah. You ever fly your hand out the window of a car? Yeah. What's this no aviation experience? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
And then I'm like, what do you do for fun? Oh, I kayak. Oh, fluid dynamics. Oh, I surf with fluid dynamics. I ride a motorcycle. Man, we
Yeah.
talk about target fixation all the time, right? Like there's always something in your life that's somehow relatable. That's why anybody could do this, you know?
Yeah.
Yana, one time she was down at Torrey Pines before she got into flying, before we even met. She's into photography and has these big long lenses and stuff. She was down there in San Diego and she was going through her old photo albums and she's like, oh, look, I took pictures of some paragliders. Never once did she say, how much does it cost? I wonder if I could do that. How far did they go? Never once even thought, just took pictures of those people, right? And then years later, she sees all these really clumsy people running off the training hill, like all walks of life, like people you
Yeah.
thought were athletic that don't really look all that natural.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah.
call them the natural, like you call a big guy slim or something, but
Yeah. Yeah.
like, hey, there's the natural. But nonetheless, she was like, man, I think I can do that. You know, she did a bunch of practicing and she started flying, and now she loves flying and she can't
She's
go
tearing it
without
up.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's doing really good.
By the way, she donated $10 to the super chat. Thanks, Yana. Appreciate that. Right. Took it right out of your wallet. Sorry, Steven.
I used her videos of like some of her worst examples of launches in some little critique videos. Did you see those?
No.
Yeah, I posted some little critique video of like a speed bar landing critique and a launch critique, and
Really?
like,
Is it
yeah,
that's
and I
on your
go back
channel?
and forth, and they're really, really kind of fun. I want to do more of these videos. I
On
have a lot of
YouTube?
fun doing them.
On your
But
YouTube channel?
yeah, I think they're out there.
Okay, all
I
right.
don't really know. I told you I'm really bad at this stuff, but
Yeah, yeah.
she
I'll
she
try to find him.
she 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 got a lot of flack for that. People thought that was an example of her best work. She
Oh.
was just being the example of
Yeah.
like what not to do. Like, you know, we all make our mistakes. Nobody's
Yeah.
perfect. I liken it to driving a car. If I was teaching you to drive a manual transmission, I can explain the clutch and the gas and the RPMs and the sounds and the smells and the feel and do all that. And if you're a great listener, you're going to have a perfect first shift. But did you master the skill?
Right.
No, you really have to screw it up in all the different iterations to really know it inside and out. And so
Yeah.
if you can enjoy the suck as it is, you know, if you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
enjoy the challenge of learning, this is going to be super fun. So she's
Yeah.
had, you know, everybody has their ups and downs, and so yeah, I used some of her videos. She's like, you can use mine. I got a thick skin. And she's like, man, people are really trying to give me advice and stuff. And
I'm
really, she
telling
has
you.
some really solid launches. She's very consistent.
Yep. Chris Fenmore donated $5. He said, "This is not good stuff. This is great stuff."
Oh, I'm
Um,
glad you guys like it. I know I'm kind of
yeah.
rambling, but
PPG
maybe you can use
Bob
it,
Father.
right? Take your time. Most of these people are senior citizens. It's not a race. Enjoy your time learning. And maybe you can spin around, or maybe you can go higher, maybe you can go far, but just don't rush it so fast. Make some mistakes at altitude and really iron it out before you go digging low and getting hurt and being one of our statistics, right?
Yeah.
With donate
Uh,
money to the show rather than somebody's rehabilitation efforts.
yeah. Yeah. PPG Bob Father. He's no spring chicken. He's a pilot. He's flying paramotors. He's getting involved into free flight too. I think he may come and visit you at some point, or maybe he already has. PPG Bob Father donated $5 to the super chat. He said, "Great show, great guest." Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Ugh.
Appreciate that. So when we're talking about taking it to the next level, obviously you don't jump in like you were saying. I love your analogies, and I think that's what really drives home the lessons. And I think that's something that's missing in you know Jesus Christ himself was known as the best speaker ever, and the reason why is because he used parables. The United States military actually uses him as an example for their communication class, because they don't want people just stumbling all over themselves when they're speaking to commanders, and they want the message and they want to remember what you said. And
Yeah.
yeah, teaching is a it's not for everyone, and it's just because you have a motor and people stand around you after you land doesn't make you a teacher. And I feel like there's this dangerous shark in the waters. If you just because you start to get a big head and you got to all of a sudden you made a sticker and you're giving it out to everyone, doesn't make you a trainer. Really think about what you're doing. And far too many accidents, far too many things happening that I feel is going to lead to regulation. And we need to just really be careful and consider what we're doing and what we're teaching.
I always say that nothing I say is gospel, despite the long hair and the sandals.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
there's more than one way to do this, and I
Yeah.
have my opinions, and I see the pros and cons, and I try to weigh pros and cons. It's not that it's right or wrong. You could dig a swimming pool with a kitchen spoon, but there's probably a smarter way of doing it. It's not
Yeah.
wrong. You'll get a pool, that's cool, and you'll really, be proud of it. There's pros and cons. But I've been looking at this stuff for a really long time, and I see some ugly stuff. I'm just trying to clean it up and raise the bar a little bit and keep people from getting as hurt or as often, or right, and then even get a little more fun out of it. You get more fun. I like think a picture is worth 1,000 words. I try to paint pictures with my words and analogies, and
Yeah.
most of the stuff I've taken from other people. I just try to make it. It's a
Yeah.
little dangerous. If I talk about a rock and a river, you might be imagining a completely different rock and a completely different river, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like the white water behind it. Like I have a vision in my head, so it's a little bit of a slippery slope with using the analogies. But I find a lot of people gravitate to that. They can
No.
picture instead of some math equation, 200 feet a minute with 50 feet a minute. What? Like, hey, but stick your arms out in a wind tunnel to go up, right? You're still falling, but you're going up. I
How
love
can
all my
people
little analogies.
how can they get a hold of you, by the way, to get training with you? And because there are people that want to actually fly in from different all over the country that want to
I
come and
get I get
Saboba,
people from everywhere.
Marshall.
Neverlandparagliding.com, eat, fly, sleep at Gmail. I thought it was cool. It was available.
Eat, fly,
Didn't
sleep.
have to put any numbers in there.
Yeah,
But
eat,
yeah,
fly, sleep at gmail.com. Okay. I
not
like that.
eat, sleep, fly. That's like fly fishing. And it doesn't make any sense because you only fly when you're sleeping. So it's the order of my day. Eat, sleep, fly. And I don't even really
Eat,
eat too many
sleep.
breakfasts. So yeah, but it's
Okay.
eat, fly, sleep.
Eat, fly, sleep at gmail.com. Okay, I can remember that.
Yeah,
I
man.
I thought it
Neverlandparagliding.com because it's magical. That's where you can find me.
yes. It's funny because I was trying to find your email so I could send you the invite, and I just ended up texting you the passcode. But
Yeah.
the I couldn't find your email, so that's
Oh, well.
exactly why I remember now. That's
Yeah. And
hilarious.
then we've got a cool little project challenge thing. We're looking for some rad video editors out there. If you guys want to compete for
Mm,
prices, I can't say a whole
really?
lot, but if
Okay.
you think you've got the cuts, you can show us what you got. Send a little 30-second, 60-second cell phone video about yourself and why you should compete for prizes. And maybe it's going to be big, man. It's going to be awesome. I think we have a lot of fun.
Okay. So they can send their video to
Yeah.
you. Is that
Get a hold of me, send me a
okay?
little link to whatever you got, and we'll put you in the considering.
Okay.
I know it's a long shot. It's good. More is coming out. You just watch. I'm super excited.
Okay. More is coming out. Okay.
It's gonna be
I'm
amazing.
you
But
told me
if you're a
yesterday,
good
and so
video
I'm
editor and you like it and you want to compete, it
okay.
might be worth your while. Just little
Okay.
90-second videos. It's gonna be rad.
Okay. I want to open up to the chat. If you have any questions that you want to throw out there, I know some of the guys, some of the, no, things you get show tonight for him. Okay. So we don't, Sean's, we need to pray for Sean. His mom passed away. And
Right.
so, yeah, Sean's he's not with us tonight. That's why he's not here tonight. And so he's dealing with that.
Got really dark.
Yeah, kind of a bummer. Sean, well, we knew she was hurting, and so anyways, we've got we don't have the spinning wheel of winning things tonight, but we are going to still give something away, and I want to give away some AMSOIL. So you'll get your choice of either AMSOIL Dominator or AMSOIL Saber. I recommend the Saber. Really good stuff, especially for the Moster 185. By the way, Steven, I got a motor. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I got the show bought me a Moster 185 on a Parajet Maverick.
Yeah, the whole shebang, not
The
just
whole,
the motor.
yeah, not just,
Nice.
I'm talking, I've been flying like a madman. I can just go to the end of my street and send it.
That is so cool.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I'm just to pinch myself. This is legit. This is real.
It's so crazy. We
Yeah.
just step into the sky. It really,
Yeah.
it's the coolest thing.
Yeah. The questions are starting to trickle in. What we're going to do a giveaway, but we're not going to spin the wheel. What is your thoughts Anthony Peregringo. There were some people in the chat. Okay. What I asked Peregringo in the chat. I said, choose somebody. And you know what? He chose Mark Rogers. Mark Rogers. I'm not sure why, but congratulations, winner, chicken dinner. Mark Rogers is the winner. I'm going to send you, I hope you have a paramotor, Mark. I'm going to send you some AMSoil. So if you would reach out to me at paraglidingtalk.com, that's paraglidingtalk.com, and then /contact. It's my son. Thank you, kind sir. Mm-hmm. Dinner must be getting close. I can smell it.
It's about that time.
Yeah, about that time. We're doing, Aaron told me that we're doing chicken nachos. Yeah, chicken nachos. Doesn't that sound good? Chicken nachos. Yeah. So let's, there's a question from Yankee. We already got that question. There was something else I wanted to mention. I have another question here on the paper, but I'm going to save it because you pretty much covered it.
PPG Bob Father said, have Stephen talk about the recent changes to P2 requirements.
Oh, I didn't know.
They changed from 25 flights over 5 days to 35 flights over 7 days.
No kidding.
So yeah, it's a little more, variable weather you're supposed to have there. I don't know. It's good and bad. Some of these people are getting all signed off. They come to me to get signed off at Marshall because it's a P3 site, but you can fly with a P2 sign off if you show some good approaches, stay out of the hang glider side, and agree to follow some restrictions. And I'm like, hey, how many flights do you have? And they're like, 4. Okay, so it's a bunch of training hill flights and a couple of flights. So I'm like, all right. So those are some of the restrictions. I don't know if that's what you guys are talking about, but yeah, they're asking you to get a little more qualified these days. Try to get some more experience.
I kind of like it now that I don't need it.
That's not me, man. Yeah. No, it's good. There's a couple different trains of thought with the way the schools operate. Some people are just doing the bare minimum. Some people are doing like an unlimited kind of follow me around thing. Some people are flying in from all over the country, all over the world, and they only have so many days. So They camp, they hang out, or hotel, whatever they got to do, and try to just be current. So they're not relearning stuff after having not been out for a few months at a time, right? Everybody has a different schedule. I try to be flexible and work with what they got. I'm looking for skills. The numbers are nice. I see people that have 50 flights that look like they've never seen their wing before. Right. Hey, I did some training here and there and the other place and been flying in the Alps. I have 300 hours. I need a P3 minimum. And then I'm all right. That was a wicked little jump you got on your launch there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. And you got 300 hours with no parachute in your harness in the Alps. All right. Maybe someone's a little less risk averse than myself. I don't know. So I see some funny stuff out there. I don't know that everybody's holding to the 35 flights minimum. Most of my people have 5-10 hours. They have hour-long flights by the time they're out of the school because we're lucky that way. You can go get 45 minutes of soaring and really weight shift and reserve drills and big ears and speed bar and big ears with speed bar. Most of my people are making me proud, looking good by the time they get out of there. But you can have 75 short flights and still be a little lost or getting away with it or show me some bad habits. I see P3s and P4s with bad habits. So what are you going to do? What's up?
That was me.
Yeah. Guilty as charged.
Guilty.
Yeah. And we all still have them, right? We all still have a little bit. Some people do really good in class and then they regress to the mean. They see everybody else doing what I think are kind of less than stellar habits, but everybody's doing it. Have you seen that experiment where everybody stands the wrong way in the elevator? Like they stare at the back wall and they let the guy come in and he kind of looks back and forth and turns around and faces like everybody else. I feel that's like really poor driving habits. Like everybody's really slow in the fast lane, It's like, well, but everyone's doing it. It's normal. I don't know. It's just weird. It's an observation I've seen that we all kind of regress to the average.
Yeah. What in the world?
That's an awesome experiment. You know, they're like
Yeah.
staring the wrong way in the elevator.
Yes.
Like, oh, I guess I'll fit in.
Now that you say that, I do remember that.
Everybody wants to fit in. Everybody wants to be
Yeah.
loved. I get it. It's
Be
a human
accepted.
nature.
Yeah.
But I want to be exceptionally like consistent on my launches. I don't want to be average. Average is, sick and that's not good.
What did you say? I think you said something like you might be good at it 99% of the time. Something like that.
Yeah.
But there's that 1%.
Okay, so if you run red lights to get to work on time, right? Your boss doesn't even know you're running late. You get employee of the year. You get a weekend in Hawaii vacation. Look at you, punctual employee of the year. You finally T-bone somebody. You try to go, man, I got unlucky. I'd argue you've been getting lucky all this time.
Yeah.
You even got rewarded with a Hawaiian vacation, right? You got rewarded with a 3-hour flight to the moon, man. My highest flight, my farthest flight. Did you see me? That was so cool. Watch my video, my track log. It's amazing. I totally get it. But if you're doing some wonky stuff and you're kind of getting away with it, I don't really think I kind of saw it coming. Like I said, I'm no Nostradamus, but I can often see the future, and some people's future is not bright. I see that prop coming. I see that strike, right? You kind of got away with it. That was really close, and we're trying to bake that out of the equation. We're trying to leave a little margin for error that isn't catastrophic.
Yeah.
Right? I do my ground spiral. Normally, it's supposed to be 3 or 4 feet off the ground. If I drag my wingtip and my harness, I kind of screwed up, to be honest with you. I used all my margin, right? I had margin and I used it. I really want to be a couple feet off the ground. So try to bake in a little margin, guys. Leave a little room for error because we are human and nobody's perfect. But, and then when you do kind of scoot, you're like, yeah, I meant to do that. Well, not really, but it looks cool. I don't know. That's my strategy. I try to bake in a little bit of margin for error.
Yeah, that is incredible. Wealth of knowledge. Stephen, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on. By the way, check out iFly Indiana Powered Paragliding. The website is iflyindiana.com. Also, Lone Star Paramotor. If you are in the state of Texas, you want to get some training on paramotoring over there. Ron Turan has a great team there. World-class training. LoneStarParamotor.com. Oh, yeah, you got some.
I'm all happy with my new shirt.
Sorry. Yeah, that's a Neverland.
It's a photograph from Lake Elsinore. Yana took the picture, and then she pulled off that, the image from a photo.
Are you selling those shirts? Can you get them? Yeah, are they on your website or something?
Website, Neverland Paragliding.
Nice.
Yeah. We got a cool flying unicorn one too with rainbow colors. It was awesome. Nice. Her dad looked at it, was like, "Yeah, for children. I don't know for men." I'm like, "Hey, what? You don't like a rainbow? What's up? It's so magical. This flying rainbow unicorn. Like, for children, maybe for not children. For men."
Yeah.
I've been rocking it, right?
Yeah.
Pink and purple and everything. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Also, I have to mention flytory.com. Torrey Pines Glider Port is a sponsor of the show. They pay good money to have their name mentioned in the show. So go check out their website. And if you want to get some really good training, you can also join those guys. If you want to fly on the beach and it works.
I got my tandem and instructor ratings at Torrey.
Oh, no kidding.
I camped there for 6 days, my sleeping bag and my skateboard.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Can you camp where you're at?
Yeah.
I mean, how does that work? And I'm not talking about in Long Beach, because I know a lot of people do the urban camping there, but I'm talking about at the base of
at the Andy Jackson Airport. Yeah, we have a little shower set up with some hot water. They have some facilities, sinks and everything, and there's kind of some car camping going on. Okay. It's not completely legit, but we're putting it out there. Everybody, come and fly. Join the club.
When you sign up, you can get those details. Reach out to Stephen Nowak. There will be obviously some good flying to come. If you want to reach out,
season's turning on.
Yeah, it's coming on. Reach out to him now and set it up. He probably has a couple slots open still, so get them while they're hot. And again, thank you so much. Really appreciate everybody. You guys really went above and beyond in the super chat tonight. Thank you. Appreciate all the Patreon supporters, PayPal supporters of the show. Keep the show going. You guys are awesome. And we're going to go to the after show. So if you want to join us, just drop your information in the chat, and we're going to go off the air and keep the show going. This is where all the nitty gritty stuff goes down in the after show. Yeah. So we're not going to hold Stephen hostage. He'll only be on here for a few more minutes. And, but if you want to join the after show, please send a message now, and now's your chance. We will see you on the next one. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Mark, I'm going to send you a t-shirt or something else. And he's got an electric paramotor, so he doesn't need two-stroke. You got a weed whacker? I mean,
I love it.
You know what I mean? So we'll see you in the after show. If I don't see you on the air, I'll see you in there. And also, don't forget about Resurgence PPG. Support them and check your NOTAMs.